I asked ChatGPT to imagine a story where a modern civil war erupts in the US following Donald Trump's victory in the 2024 presidential election. Stay tuned to find out how part 3 of the story unfolds. February 2025, the nation fractures. By February, the United States was in chaos. The federal government's authority had collapsed in many parts of the country, and local militias and insurgent groups had taken control of vast regions. Major highways became battlegrounds, and supply chains were disrupted, leading to shortages of food and essential goods. The media landscape was equally fractured. Conservative outlets portrayed Trump as a heroic figure trying to save the nation, while liberal outlets depicted him as a tyrant. Misinformation was rampant, and trust in the mainstream media plummeted. People turned to alternative sources for news, often aligning with their own political beliefs. In the South, a coalition of states formally declared their secession from the Union, forming what they called the new Confederacy. They argued that Trump's presidency represented the true will of the American people and that the federal government had become illegitimate. Meanwhile, in the Northeast and along the West Coast, another coalition emerged, calling themselves the Union of Free States. They refused to recognize Trump's authority and vowed to resist his administration by any means necessary. The United States was now divided into 3 main factions: the Trump administration, the new Confederacy, and the Union of Free States. March 2025, the war intensifies. By March 2025, the conflict had escalated into full-scale warfare. Major cities became battlegrounds as militias and insurgent groups clashed with federal forces. Washington, D.C. was fortified, with Trump's loyalists turning the capital into a fortress. The White House was surrounded by barricades, and the National Guard was deployed to protect the seat of government. In New York, California, and other Union-controlled states, the resistance was fierce. Local governments refused to cooperate with federal authorities, and the streets were patrolled by armed militias. Skirmishes between the Union forces and Trump's supporters became a daily occurrence, with casualties mounting on both sides. Internationally, the situation was watched with growing concern. Allies of the United States were divided on how to respond. Some countries supported the Union of Free States, while others backed the Trump administration. The United Nations called for peace talks, but neither side was willing to back down. As the conflict dragged on, the American economy collapsed. The stock market plummeted, unemployment soared, and millions of people were displaced from their homes. The once great cities of America were now scarred by war, with buildings reduced to rubble and streets filled with the detritus of battle. Smash that like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next chapter as this story continues to unfold.